Hey Steelers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Let's jump into the latest Steelers news and rumors here today. A very interesting report here by CBS Sports' Jason Canfora on possibly a quarterback change happening midseason for Pittsburgh. Now, obviously entering the season right now, it's going to be Big Ben Roethlisberger and this new look offense, Najee Harris, JuJu Smith-Schuster coming back, and yet here's Jason Canfora talking about how the Steelers could be experimenting with a new quarterback by midseason. Now, this does stem off last year where Big Ben Roethlisberger was hit a bunch at the quarterback position and really struggled to go ahead and just get them over the hump. Yes, they won the division. Yes, they won double-digit football games. Yes, they went to the postseason, but that Browns game was very revealing, and a couple of games before that seemed to show that Big Ben is definitely on his way downward, at least has been over the past couple of seasons. And they did add Dwayne Haskins this offseason, which makes you kind of sit back and wonder if Big Ben were to start struggling, especially early on, with as talented as the defense is and as many weapons as there are on the offense, if that team were to sputter from an offensive perspective, could they go for a quarterback change and actually bench Ben Roethlisberger at some point midseason? Well, here's what Jason Canfora had to say about this. Again, the CBS Sports NFL Insider quote, "I could see the Steelers experimenting with a new quarterback by midseason. When you take that kind of pay cut to stick around to try to get out on something other than the terms of that ugly playoff loss to the Browns, chances are things won't get much better. Offensive line looks shaky at best. Lack of mobility a big problem. I just don't see this going well, and things have been trending down since 2019, end quote. Now, he's talking about mobility. It's not like there's any quarterback on the roster that has mobility. Haskins and Mason Rudolph are not necessarily mobile, but maybe Haskins can be the guy. Like, is that the question mark we're going to ask ourselves right now? Can Dwayne Haskins be the guy in Pittsburgh? They did sign him this offseason after all the mess he had in Washington and never really turned out to be any sort of a decent quarterback with the football team. However, maybe he comes and revitalizes his career in Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin gets him going and Big Ben kind of, take him underneath his wing and kind of grow him to be the future. It's tough to say that because you don't see that as being a possibility, but what are the other options right now for Pittsburgh if this scenario were to happen? Again, that's a big if, right? Big Ben hopefully plays well if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and gets them all the way to hopefully winning the division, even though it's tough with Baltimore and then the Bengals getting Burrow back and obviously the Cleveland Browns. But if he were to struggle at some point, your depth chart is going to be, I guess, turning to Mason Rudolph, who we've seen play plenty of times and never looks to be anything close to a starting quarterback. And then, of course, Dwayne Haskins, who's actually been a starting quarterback in the league, but as we know, has never really lived up to actually being a very good player. So, interesting thoughts here by Jason Canfora and something to go ahead and keep an eye on. Again, this only really happens if Pittsburgh were to be great on all aspects of the football field except at quarterback. Like if they're playing well defensively and they're getting a bunch of stops and the offense is starting to look good at times with the running game and the offensive line plays better, but Ben Roethlisberger is struggling, well, then you could see a scenario where a quarterback change could happen by midseason, according to Jason Canfora. I'll ask you guys this. Will Big Ben play the entire 2021 NFL season, right? Is he going to be the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers the entire way of the 2021 NFL season? Tough schedule for Pittsburgh as well. If you think that he will be, go ahead and type Y down below for yes. If you think he won't be, type N down below for no. I think the hope for all Steelers fans, I think we can all say this together, that Big Ben does play, because if there is some sort of benching, that means the Steelers are not playing well, as we just talked about a little bit earlier. So I think a lot of you guys should go ahead and type Y down below for yes, although if they were to struggle, there could be a change, and so, maybe he didn't play the entire season, you always type N down below for no. Okay, Steelers fans, before we go ahead and keep going, our brand new Steelers Talk channel, of course, is live here on YouTube via Chat Sports, and we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That way we can start posting more videos. More subscribers equals more videos, so go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and click the notification bell to be up to date on the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news and rumors. Plenty more videos just like this covering all aspects of Pittsburgh. We're coming up in the coming days and weeks on this channel, but make sure, again, you guys go down below and subscribe, because the more subscribers we get, the more videos we can go ahead and make. I want to move over to another bit of Steelers news and rumors today. And very interesting to see JuJu Smith-Schuster out on some podcasts, doing some interviews and talking about the differences that we will see him play from a wide receiver perspective going into the 2021 season. Now, JuJu was talking to or speaking out in a podcast and essentially was asked about what they expect from JuJu this year and what he's going to be able to do from a wide receiver perspective. And he kind of shocked a lot of people, saying, quote, "You'll definitely see me playing outside more." And of course, as one of the leading slot receivers in the National Football League, if not the leading slot receiver in the National Football League last year, according to Pro Football Focus, a guy who had like 711 snaps from the slot and had like 639 routes from the slot. I mean, the guy has been a slot machine, as most people know and watch if they're a Steeler fan, for his entire career in Pittsburgh. Coming back on that one-year deal. Apparently, though, now, with some changes in the Steelers' offense, offense, and we'll get into those here in just one second, he could be moving outside, be more of an outside wide receiver and not playing up there in the slot. Now here was JuJu, again, on where he could possibly line up. Quote, you're going to get the whole package. And the biggest thing that a lot of people are talking about is me playing outside. You'll definitely see me playing outside more, end quote. Now, what kind of impact will that have on JuJu from a fantasy football standpoint, from a statistical standpoint? I don't think much. Maybe he'll have more yards because even though he had, 97 catches last year, the yards per catch was always down because a lot of his routes were, of course, shorter playing in the slot. So maybe you get some more deep balls and have a little more options for some longer routes from JuJu Smith-Schuster. But the statistics shouldn't really go anywhere in terms of overall production. He's still one of the more productive wide receivers in the National Football League, one of the better wide receivers in the National Football League. But it's interesting to see an idea of JuJu moving outside. Perhaps it's due to the fact that they drafted a tight end, the Penn State one, in the second round, and that they maybe want to run the football a little bit more. And right now, if you have Eric Ebron and the Penn State tight end they got in round 2, you could see more 12 packages. So I think the Steelers should use some more 12 packages. And you don't know what 12 package is. It simply means there are 2 tight ends on the football field. Excuse me, at any given time. Which could essentially mean that they could go 2 tight ends and then put one receiver out to the left, if you want to throw out there, Chase Claypool, for instance, and then put JuJu on the right. And then you only have 2 wide receiver sets versus the normal shotgun 3 or 4 wide receiver sets that Pittsburgh has been doing for a very, very long time. So it could be just as simple as the fact that they want to have extra blockers in there, extra tight ends to go ahead and create running lanes. Maybe they play more boot action with Ben Roethlisberger, and that would mean that you can't really line JuJu up in the slot because there is no slot receiver in a 12 package. So there are some interesting ideas on how JuJu is going to be playing more on the outside. It could simply just be the fact that they're going to put him out there. Right? You move Chase Claypool around, you put JuJu on the outside, who knows? They have plenty of weapons, and in Pittsburgh, they've had plenty of weapons for a very long time, and so you could see a scenario where JuJu just decides, listen, we're going to line up on the outside, we're going to get one-on-one with the best cornerback on the football field and win that battle, and hopefully Ben can get him the football going forward. But it's interesting that he's talking about moving outside, something that, again, JuJu has not really done his entire career. He's been a number 1 slot receiver for a reason because he's always in the slot. I mean, that's literally what he does, which has its benefits, right? You can put in nickel cornerbacks who normally aren't as good, and so the move outside could simply be the fact they want to see what he can do from the outside perspective, or they're trying to change the formations up a little bit with the additions of, obviously, the tight end, and then you got Eric Ebron, who's still there, but you got 2 of them now, and they're running it with Najee Harris, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Pittsburgh going into the 2021 season. Who leads the Steelers in receiving yards this year? What do you think? Is it going to be JuJu Smith-Schuster? Is it going to be Eric Ebron? Is it somebody else? Is it Chase Claypool? Is it James Washington? I mean, there are a lot of options right now for Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Who leads the Steelers in receptions in 2021? Give me a name and a pick down below right now. They're going to have a 1,000-yard receiver. At least you should hope they have a 1,000-yard receiver. Who leads the Steelers in receiving in 2021? Let me know what that is down below right now. All right, ultimately for today here on Pittsburgh Steelers Talk. We call it Steelers Talk here on this brand new YouTube channel by Chat Sports. We try to go ahead and grow what hopefully will become the best Steelers channel here on YouTube. All the Steelers content in one simple channel right here, and it's all free for you as well. So again, make sure you guys go down below and subscribe as we try to get to 1,000 subscribers here on Steelers Today. The more subscribers we get, the more videos we can go ahead and make, which means you get more content to go ahead and watch for your beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Ultimately for today, for Steelers Talk, I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.